Boy, oh boy, the last day has just been an absolute just mess worldwide with this virus, this pandemic, and all over the world. Whether that's in the celebrity fraternity with Tom Hanks and his wife coming down with it, or coming down with it, I guess. Being contracted with the virus. Rudy Gobert, NBA Defensive Player of the Year level player. Rudy Gobert, Utah Jazz. So as a result, all NBA games have been called off now. They've just postponed the season, suspended it altogether. So we've got that. And then we move to WrestleMania. Now, yesterday's video I made saying, stop it clowns, WrestleMania 36 won't be cancelled. Basically, if you watch the video, my whole point was that Vincent Kennedy McMahon, would not cancel WrestleMania. And I stand by that. Vince McMahon, why would he cancel his greatest creation? Okay. However, as the news has come out, and as a bit of logic has been applied in the past day with how this this pandemic spreading, really, it's becoming more and more clear that WrestleMania 36, it probably will happen in some way, shape, or form. Now, whether that's in an empty arena, God forbid, whether that's at the Performance Center in front of 200 people, whether that's in June, we really have to wait and see with this, because the Florida government are meeting literally today, so before this video comes out, I think, so we may know the state of WrestleMania by then. But I just wanted to make this video to really address this some more, because this pandemic is just, it's out of control at this point. People are freaking out, lots of panic worldwide, tourism and all that money, the budget's down. People aren't going out really, because justifiably so, there's fear everywhere. It's an absolute mess, a very messy situation. So in this video, I'm going to be following up on yesterday's video and just talking about the virus itself and how, what could happen with pro wrestling shows going forward. Because, look, pro wrestling, the audience is everything. That's the fundamental basis of what a pro wrestling show is. The crowd, the people attending the shows. Really, without the crowd, pro wrestling's nothing. As I said in that video yesterday, the empty arena match in 1999 at Halftime Heat, The Rock and Mankind, that was a one-off, and it worked given the match they were doing and fit the story, the empty arena match. But you can't be doing wrestling shows in front of empty arenas. That would feel just wrong. Can you imagine? I don't even want to think about them doing wrestling shows in front of empty arenas. And how far do they go? Not just until they cancel WrestleMania, but until they call off these wrestling events, because wrestling events gathering 5, 10, 20, and in WrestleMania's case 80,000 people in one vicinity, one stadium, one arena for a couple of hours, that can't be good for the potential spread of this disease, this virus, this pandemic. So really, pro wrestling as a whole, it just like with sports and these entertainment mediums, and other entertainment mediums like concerts and whatnot. Really, this next time period coming up is a really just it's a rough time period, and honestly, we've never seen anything like it, which is what makes this so scary almost for a lot of people. I mean, personally, I don't find it that terrifying or that scary myself, because given my age and how physical health and how I keep myself functioning. But for a lot of people, if you're have a frail immune system, you come down with these things, you're elderly, all of this stuff. If you're in an area where there's the disease, it can be really, really scary, and I can understand that for a lot of people. So yeah, to all the viewers watching, stay safe, do the best you can. If you're not the most hygienic person, try and be more hygienic. If you are hygienic, keep doing that. Just do what you can. Don't just lock yourself inside and hibernate for 6 months. Still live, okay? That's the main thing with this, because you can't just let this virus win, okay? You've got to keep living your life. Don't put your life fully on hold because out of fear, okay? There's no way to live your life, so pretty much wrestling shows going forward in the next, couple of months, realistically, as this virus keeps spreading, I don't know what point it gets to. No one does. If I was Nostradamus and I knew how far this virus will go, then I'd be getting paid billions. But I don't. No one does. So we'll see what happens with this in the months going forward. Praying for it to really cool down in the next couple of weeks, because especially, as I said, after yesterday with Rudy Gobert, NBA star, coming down with the coronavirus or being diagnosed. I'm not going to say coming down with. It's not exactly a common cold. It's a bit worse, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. When Rudy Gobert gets tested positive for it, and the whole NBA world goes into shock, and but they literally shut down the NBA just altogether because they were going to do NBA games in front of empty arenas, and then I mean that's just turned into them just calling it off. So seeing what World Wrestling Entertainment does and AEW and all these promotions, I know New Japan Pro Wrestling that they've literally just called off their shows for at least a month. They've just called all the shows off, and justifiably so. Fair enough. In that part of the world, that's probably the best decision you can do. In North America, we'll see what they do with this because it's really a government by government basis. So, for example, the government of Florida, I mean, they're pretty strong on it because there's been reported and confirmed cases in Florida. So, when the government meets today, I don't know when I'm going to be posting this video. Hopefully, it's before the meeting so that if any guaranteed or any news about what happened came out, I can report on that. But hopefully, all goes well, and if they not call off WrestleMania, but decide to not hold it in the stadium with 100,000 people, then there can be plans to supplement that. Because the last thing we need is, well, the last thing anyone needs is to get the virus first and foremost, but the last thing pro wrestling needs is for just the whole thing to just be thrown out of whack. Like, for all these individuals' careers, like Drew McIntyre, how must he be feeling right now? To think that this was supposed to be him winning the World Championship in front of 80,000 people and the entire world in the main event of WrestleMania 36 and Brock Lesnar. To think that that might not even go ahead. To think that, like, The Fiend might not beat Cena at all and they might even go ahead with the match. To think the show might not even happen. Like, this kind of fear and whatnot, it puts all these little minute pro wrestling problems into perspective. It really does. Like, as fun as it is to rant on Bruce and SmackDown, at least everyone on SmackDown and everyone involved in that show is healthy and the show can go ahead with the crowd. Because if you get to a point where pro wrestling is being done in front of empty arenas, or God forbid not at all, then that's just going to be a disaster. No one wants to see that. That's not good for business. That's not good for anyone. Okay, and it's like that with all entertainment mediums. Concerts, performances, sports games. Like we saw it in Italian soccer. They played a game in front of an empty arena. And that's going to continue. Like, it's everywhere right now. Cases are spreading. Travel bans are becoming a thing. Like, it's such a messy, developing political type issue. It's political, it's, health related. Just, this whole virus, it's all started because, a man in Wuhan ate a bat and spread it. Like, just, I don't even know where to go with this. So, basically, that's the video. This is just a really supplementary, follow-up video to yesterday because I don't want my message to be misinterpreted from that. The whole point of yesterday's video was saying that Vincent Kennedy McMahon, would not cancel WrestleMania under his own will. Granted, if the government of Florida, literally say WrestleMania is not going ahead, then Vince's hands are forced because Saudi Arabia, they're not doing a show. They're not having WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia, so your hands are tied if you're Vince McMahon. What do you do from there? Do you put WrestleMania a few months down the line? But then again, if you do, will the virus be much worse by then? If you do WrestleMania in front of nobody, how's that going to look? How awkward is that going to feel, watching 7 hours of content in front of no one? Because the crowd makes wrestling shows and think there could be no wrestling fans in the attendance. That's rough. And also, do you even do WrestleMania at all? Do you just postpone World Wrestling Entertainment shows for a while? Which is a complete detriment to their business, but businesses all over the world are being detrimented by this. It's a detriment to everyone. Outside of maybe toilet paper companies who are just, stockpiling cash at the moment, like, outside of that, everyone's at a disadvantage because of this. This whole situation with this virus, it's just, it's scary for a lot of people. It's tough to see because every couple of years or decade or so, you get something like this, some disease, some wave of whatever that scares people, but it passes by. This, you don't know when it's going to pass by because the vaccine is going to be out for a long time. So we've got to see whether rates die down and the panic and hysteria dies down. Hopefully the mainstream media can report on it responsibly and not continue this panic. Like, personally, this is just, personal story. I was at the shops the other day. I'm walking down an aisle, all the toilet paper's gone, and I heard a little kid say, "Oh well, first the toilet paper's gone, and then the soap's gonna be gone, then the food's gonna be gone, we'll all die." And it's like, Jesus Christ, to think that this is where we've gone. This is where, not just pro wrestling, this is beyond pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is just a minute sub-minority of global culture. But to think that's where we are in 2020, it's crazy to think about. So that's the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and sub. It's just a messy situation, this. It's developing day to day. It's just, I don't know. So that's the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and sub. You guys know the drill. See ya.